Jay here, Stretford, Paddock. This is the Paper Talk. As you can see, I'm not at Old Trafford. I'm not in the studio. I'm actually in a cupboard. Well, I'm not in a cupboard. I'm in my lady friend's stockroom stroke office doing this video for you. So I will not have my lady friend's stockroom bandied about this channel willy-nilly. Let's get into it. Anyway, because there's loads of stories to go through as usual. And the big one is Erik Ten Hag. I'll get to him in a minute. There's also a Paul Labille Pogba story, because where would we be on this channel or in life in general without a Paul Labille Pogba story? And we've not actually got one Paul Labille Pogba story. One story? We've got two. One a bit more serious than the other. Well, they're both serious, but I'll get into them and explain what I'm on about. He's been given an interview over in France or for France media while he's away on international duty. This often happens with Pogba. He goes away, he gives these interviews. He comments on Manchester United, he comments on his career, he comments on his next step, all that sort of thing. And then the press pick up on it over here, obviously, and fans pick up on it over here. And then we have all this speculation and all this other stuff. Now, in terms of, I'll get to the more serious issue, the slightly more serious issue in a minute, but I'll start with the what he's talking about his future. And he's told French media that you have to be honest, the last 5 seasons have not satisfied me, really not at all. This year, it is dead. We won't win anything, whether it is with Manchester United or another club. I want to win trophies. Now, there's nothing quite, sort of revelatory about that. You get it. He is a very, very talented player. He is one of the best midfielders on his day in the world. So you would expect him to want to win trophies. And this season has been pretty disastrous on that front. We didn't win anything. We've not won anything since 2017. But I always think this with Pogba and a few of the other bigger players in terms of the stature and the fee and everything else that goes with it. They have to take some responsibility as well, because it's always this argument with Paul Pogba: is it he's not surrounded by players that are good enough, or is it he's not been good enough at the time? And the truth is probably somewhere in the middle. I think Paul Pogba is a fantastic footballer. I personally would love to see him stay at the club. I don't think he will. But there's been games where he could have done more. He could have stepped up, and he hasn't. So you think about it, you look at the game last season, the final in the Europa League. Now, Paul Pogba, he wasn't alone. I don't think Manchester United turned up, to be honest with you. I thought our performance was pretty poor. But he was part of that, and he didn't turn up. And had he played better or, been a match winner, I'm not saying he has to do it on his own, but had he put in a performance that his talents sort of should have been putting up, then we could have won that game. We didn't. And I think that, if you watch the game, I remember seeing Edison Cavani running past Paul Pogba to try and win the ball back. So, you have to take some responsibility. You can maybe look at the 2018 FA Cup final as well. Did he have a great game in that game? I don't think he did. And again, you can go, well, no one else did either, or very few players did. But because he's such a good player, those are the types of games I want to see him standing up in, stepping up in. Did it in 2017 in the Europa League final. Played very well. But other finals he's gone missing. And again, it's not all on him, but some of it, he has to take responsibility. I'm not surprised that he's talking about leaving and wanting to win trophies. I think he'll probably go somewhere where he can win trophies. If he goes to PSG, for example, he'll undoubtedly win at least France domestic trophies, and I'll probably have a crack at the Champions League as well. We'll have to wait and see what happens with his future. Now, when I said about a more serious topic that he's discussed, he's spoken about depression, and he said that he suffered bouts of depression after falling out with Jose Mourinho at United and wanted to isolate himself, insisting he's just a human being, not a superhero. Now, a lot of footballers have started speaking out about this, and I always think it's a good thing. A few years ago, we had Jesse Lingard on the channel when we were full-time Devils, and McCullough sat down, and he spoke about speaking to a psychologist and struggling with mental health at times. And I think it's important we have this conversation. And players shouldn't feel they can't talk about it if things aren't going well. Because sometimes we get into the thing where, I've seen this on social media, playing the mental health card. It worries me when people start saying that. I think it's an important conversation to have. Pogba's spoken about suffering from bouts of depression throughout his career. And I don't know Paul Pogba. I don't really know many people that do, to be honest. I don't know anyone that does. But we've seen reports that he can be quite emotional, that he can be someone who he likes to feel loved. Probably didn't feel that with Jose. I'm not for 1 minute blaming Jose Mourinho for any mental health issues that Paul Pogba has suffered. But he said himself, during that time, he did suffer bouts of depression. We've seen recently as well, he had a robbery at his house. I think his burglary, and he lost. I think they took his World Cup winners medal, which is a bit of an aside, really. But it's sort of something that can affect your mental health if your family's put in danger or someone's been into your home. It's not nice. So he's obviously got certain things that he's speaking up about, which is good. In terms of United future, it's more the same, innit? We've said it millions of times on this channel. I've said it myself. We've been talking about Paul Pogba staying at United since 2011. When he went to Juve in the end, didn't he? came back, and now he's towards the end of his contract. I personally don't think he's going to sign a new deal. I think he would have done it by now. He's had, what, 6 years, whatever it is, to decide, and I think he's going to move on. And I just feel like it's a bit disappointing for many reasons that Paul Pogba's going to leave here, having not won a trophy since 2017. Get involved in the comments. Let us know what you think. Do you blame Paul Pogba for that? Do you blame the club? Is it a mixture of both? I'm not talking about the depression thing. I'm talking about him not winning trophies, because that's what he's spoken about. Where do you stand on that? And if you do want to get involved in the discussion about depression, then by all means do it. It's something we should all be talking about, and maybe trying to understand and be a little bit kinder to one another where we can. The big one, the big story doing the rounds this morning is Erik ten Hag. And it seems Erik ten Hag has been interviewed, according to reports, on Monday. He's interviewed this week as Manchester United look to move forward with our managerial appointment, which, according to reports, could be within a few weeks. That's a mately appointment. Now, the club have got a short list. We've got Julian Lopetegui, you've got Mauricio Pochettino, and you've got Luis Enrique on that short list. Pochettino's been linked with Manchester United since about 2015, 2016. I can't remember the exact date. It feels like he's been linked with us since Van Gaal was here. I remember doing a video a while ago. I think it was Stay Outside Old Trafford, and we were talking about Mauricio Pochettino coming in after Van Gaal. So that shows you how long he's been linked with us. Lopetegui is obviously a bit of a new one in terms of his link with the club. Luis Enrique, I always do that. No, I start calling him Luis and start calling him Luis. Luis Enrique, obviously he's got a job to do with Spain. There's talk that maybe Ralph Rangnick could stay on until after the World Cup, and Luis Enrique could take over then. Seems a little bit like kicking the problem further down the road. Yes, if he's a great manager, you can get him. It's worth waiting those extra few months, but there is a part of you thinks you need to get your business done in summer. You need to get your transfers done. And not just your transfers, you need to get your manager in. Your manager needs to come in and start working with these players in pre-season, work out who's up for it and who's not, get his dealings done, and hopefully start the season off to a good start. Not start the season thinking, who is our manager going to be? We don't know. Oh, okay, does he want this player? I spoke to him on the phone. He told me, yeah, he's happy with that. It's not the way that I think a club should be doing business or should be doing things. I mean, I often say that about Manchester United, though, to be honest with you. We always do things that we shouldn't be doing. So it wouldn't surprise me if that's how we're trying to do things. But it looks like Erik ten Hag, who has been interviewed, is the favourite. He is the bookie's favourite. It looks like that is moving forward. I've spoken about it several times about how certain people at the club, there's an agreement. We had a story a few weeks ago, or last week it might have been, about an agreement between some of the board and the hierarchy that Erik ten Hag is their man. We spoke to a Dutch journalist, it's going to be up soon, that interview, who was waxing lyrical about ten Hag. He couldn't say enough good things about him. Very excited about the prospect of Erik ten Hag coming to Manchester United and thinks he'll be a big success. So hope he's right, and I would like to see Erik ten Hag. Don't know loads about him, but I know that he took over an Ajax side that hadn't won a title in, what was it, 4 years, I think? Had success, doubles, Champions League semi-finals. Okay, last 16 in Champions League isn't this time around isn't going to be amazing, but when you look at Ajax, where they were and what they've done previously, that's a pretty good return for the Erik ten Hag as manager there. Another story this morning that's just sort of come out this morning is Wayne Rooney will be inducted to the Premier League Hall of Fame alongside Patrick Vieira. Patrick Vieira is obviously doing bits in it at Crystal Palace. And it says here, there's a story, I'm just reading the first story that I've come to when I've Googled it. Manchester United and Arsenal icons Wayne Rooney and Patrick Vieira become the 9th and 10th stars to be inducted into the Premier League's Hall of Fame. Joining list that includes Beckham, Gerrard, Shearer and Henry. I think Rooney didn't qualify initially because I think he was still a player, or there was some reason, I can't remember, because I remember pointing this out on Twitter, and people on Twitter were saying, no, he's still registered as a player at Derby. I don't think he was eligible for the initial Premier League Hall of Fame because I would have had him as one of my first choices. I think Wayne Rooney is one of the best players I've ever seen. He's won the lot domestically and in Europe as well. And he's just been a fantastic footballer. And if you're looking at the Premier League, he's won a hatful of Premier League trophies. He's been one of those medals. He's been one of those players who's played alongside the likes of Cristiano Ronaldo, Robin van Persie, Dimitar Berbatov. All three of those have been the Premier League top scorer whilst they've been partnered by Wayne Rooney. And they've won the Premier League that season. So not only has Wayne Rooney been United's top scorer in many seasons, he's also been the partner to the Premier League top scorer and helped deliver medals. That's phenomenal. That shows you he's not just an out-and-out goal scorer, which he did. He scored a load of goals. He's United, I think, still at the moment, England's record scorer as well. But he's also a great strike partner for other players and brought out the best in them. Just a phenomenal player, Wayne Rooney. I think Wayne Rooney, he's always been highly rated by United fans, but I think a few fans are beginning to look him, though, actually. Maybe we didn't appreciate just how good he was at times, especially when you're watching some of the football we're seeing at the moment. So there's the main stories for Manchester United as well. Just a quick story, or a quick note. You've probably seen it on social media. A lot of us see it. I've tweeted myself about Mark Jones, lad from Urmston, who's passed away recently. Big United fan. Got to know him over the last few years. First on Twitter, and then I met him a couple of times. Bumped into him at games and at process at Old Trafford. Passionate United fan, knowledgeable United fan, and my thoughts are with his family and his friends as well. After that sad news that he's passed away. I'm going to wrap it up there. If you get involved in the comments, let us know what you think about those stories. Do give us a like, share, and a subscribe as well. We're back later on today. I think it's going to be me and Macola this evening. I'm doing a long shift today. Doing a long shift, mate. With the late night, or not late night, it's the Premier League Live. Well, no, it's not Premier League Live. What is it called? Paddock Live. That's it. I've only been doing it for about 2 years. You think I'd know by now. So we're back tonight with Paddock Live. I've been Jay. This has been the Paper Talk from a sunny Eccles. Thanks for watching.